강타를 만들기 위한 스트레칭에 대해서 한번 배워보도록 하겠습니다. So, could you teach me how to stretch before you make shots?
Sure, no problem. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that your back, protecting your back. So I tell people all the time, probably the easiest thing to do is grab a golf club. Well, I'll grab you one.
Thank
no
you.
worries. So we'll both get a club. One for me, one for you.
Thank you.
All right. So first things first would be kind of take that and then just turn from side. But remember, same thing like our drills, right? So when we turn, we're not going to sway. We're going to turn into the hip.
골프 모션을 잡아가면서
There you go.
이제 몸을 푸네요.
And then the same thing on the other side. Turning into the hip. So you want to get your hips nice and loose. There you go. Perfect. And then what about the shoulders and the arms, right? So we want to keep the hips pretty much square, but just slow motions like that. And once you do that, and so the key is when you go over, really extend out.
Over.
And extend your arms out as far as you can when you get in front of you. And you should feel that in your back a little bit.
아하. 팔을 최대한 뻗어주래요. 등에서 느낌이 날 정도로. 확실히 그 날개뼈 쪽에서 당기는 느낌이 있네요.
뭔가 엑스텐션, 뭐 늘리는
네.
느낌인가 봐요.
최대한 팔을 뻗고 늘려주라고 어깨를 스퀘어하게 만들기 위해서 하는 동작이라고 합니다.
Now we're up here, holding here, and we hold here. We'll
Is
get
this a squat?
not yet, not yet, but we'll actually get into the address position. So once you get into the address position, now we're going to push that knee in, push that turn, and then do the same thing here. And all you're doing is warming up the hips, warming up the back, making sure that it can take what you're going to do to it throughout the golf swing.
골반의 느낌을 계속 가지면서 하는 것이 중요한 것 같아요.
오, 골반과 허리가 엄청 당겨요.
You should feel your hips starting to get a little looser now.
My hip and my sides here.
Okay. So now we're almost to your favorite squats, but not there yet.
Who said that's my favorite?
Oh, it's too late. Now you want to make sure. So the hamstrings, right? The hamstrings go into the glutes, and the glutes protect the back. So if your hamstrings are tight, if your glutes are tight, then what ends up happening is you end up hurting your back. So you want to make sure that you get a nice, good stretch of the hamstrings. But here, remember, since golf's a rotational sport, you also want to rotate when you're down here. Now you should feel that in your left hip. Same thing on the right side. When you turn to the left, you should feel that in your right hip. And you want to do that down
Do you
here as
bend your
well.
knees?
A
bit?
little flexion in the knee because in the golf swing you'll have a little flexion, so your legs won't be straight.
Okay.
Now once you get that part going, how does that feel?
Good.
You know what's next, don't you? Yes.
저 오늘 운동하러 나왔네요.
You have to squat. Remember,
헬스 트레이너 선생님 같습니다.
when you're in this position, what are you doing? You're squatting, remember? So you have to get used to loading those legs. So how would you do a squat to warm up? No.
I don't do squats for golf
Life.
warm-up.
Okay, so here we go. Remember, at the top of your backswing, where are your hands? All the way up high, right? So when you squat for golf, hands are up because you, in the golf swing, when are you squatting? Your hands are always up. So we'll squat this way. Yep, same thing. Sitting back, letting the knees, you want to see the knees go out, outward. Try to keep your body as far back as you can. Keeping your toes off the ground. There you go.
And feel the stretching your back too.
Not really. So this one's primarily going to work your hips, and what you're really doing when you're doing this is you're loading your legs. You're getting your legs ready for the exercises that it's going to do repeatedly throughout your round of golf. So when you look at it, it's called functional training. That's a big part of it. So if you go to the golf course and you do stretches that don't mimic what your body's going to do when it's playing golf, you don't really look forward to a successful round of golf. So when you do those stretches, you're really doing things that are really working with the golf swing and the things that you're going to do. You could easily squat here. You could easily squat here, but when you're squatting in the golf swing, remember, it's at the top of the backswing and your hands are up. So why not get used to having your hands up and squatting? And for some people, what you'll find out is when you squat here, your range of motion is absolutely amazing. When you squat here, not so much. So you want to learn your range of motion with your actual body in the positions that it'll be.
확실히 헬스 트레이너답게 골프 동작과 접목시켜서 이렇게 또 스트레칭 동작들을 알려줬습니다.